Okay, I'm Jen from the Science Center, and today we're going to make a kazoo out of some stuff that you have in your house. So things that you're going to need are you're going to need a paper tube, so you can use a paper towel empty tube, or you can use a toilet paper empty tube. You'll need a square of wax paper that's big enough to go over the end of your tube, and you will need a rubber band. I don't see any new faces today, so I think I'll skip the Zoom intro. Okay. So does anybody know how sound works? How does something make sound? It turns out that one of the ways that things make sound is by vibrating, by moving back and forth really, really, really fast. So if you've ever listened to a guitar or a piano, there's a string that goes back and forth really, really fast. And that's what's making the sound that you're hearing. That's what's making the note that you hear. You can do that with a rubber band. So if you take your rubber band and you stretch it out and you just hit the rubber band, do you hear? It makes a sound. And if you make the rubber band shorter, it makes a different sound. It makes a lower sound. If you make the rubber band much longer, it makes a higher sound. So what the rubber band is doing is you can see it's moving back and forth. And when it moves back and forth, it's making that sound. So you want to be very careful when you're doing this with your rubber band because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Okay. So what we can do is we can make a kazoo. And what the kazoo does is it's going to move a piece of paper back and forth really, really fast. So let's go ahead and do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your paper tube and you want to put your piece of paper over the end of the tube so that it's completely covered. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take a rubber band and you're going to put your rubber band so that it's holding the paper onto the tube. Like so. Okay. So everybody has their paper and their tube. Then you're going to put your paper on, and you want to make sure that you've got your paper is covering the tube completely, like so. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to kind of tug on your paper a little bit so that it's tight. Like that. Okay. All right. Has everybody got their tube? All right. Excellent. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a pen. I forgot to tell you, you need a pen or something to poke with. I'm just going to poke a hole in your paper. Like that. Okay. So we've got our tube with our paper on it. We've got our rubber band. And we've got a little hole in it right there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to blow on the paper. So we're going to put our mouth on this and you can hum or you can sort of talk. So I'm just going to do that. All right, so it looks like Trey and Corinne are just joining us. So if you want to grab your paper tube and some wax paper, I'm going to make another one here. I'm going to try making one with my paper towel tube, see if it sounds different. So you need to take your square of wax paper and you put it over the end of your tube, like so. Then you're going to put your rubber band over the end of your tube. So you've got your paper held on with the end of over the end of your tube. Okay. Then what you're going to do is once you've got your paper tube with the paper on it, your wax paper, you're just going to poke a hole in it with a pen. Oh, I did a big hole that time, so this will be interesting. So this is our kazoo. Excellent, Jacob and Jerome, it looks like you've got yours. No? Okay. Did you poke a big hole in yours? Do you want to go ahead and ask, do you want to ask a question? So what you're doing when you do this is when you blow on the tube, you are making the paper vibrate. So just like we were making our rubber band vibrate, when we do this, we are making our paper vibrate when we put our mouth on it and we blow. Sometimes it takes a couple tries to get it right, but you want to put your mouth over the hole that you made, and you can hum, or you can try just saying so you are making the paper move back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Good morning. And when you do that, the sound is made louder by this paper tube that you have. So if you have a short paper tube, it might sound different than if you have a long paper tube. So I'm going to compare mine. Oh, so it sounds different when you have a long tube. It sounds a little bit lower, maybe. The pitch is a little bit lower than if you have a long tube. You can try different things. So you can try if you have different pieces of paper. You can try if you see if you can use different kinds of paper to make different kinds of sounds. Does anybody have any observations? I'm going to make more holes in mine to see if making more holes makes it make a different sound. I think it works better maybe to just have one hole rather than having a bunch of holes. I'm going to try that instead. Oh, that's an interesting idea. So Trey is covering the end of his tube. That makes it make a different sound, doesn't it? I'm going to try to use a different kind of paper to see if it makes a different sound. So I have a crumply piece of like tissue paper. I'm going to put my tissue paper over the end and see if that makes a different sound. Oh, that doesn't work quite as well. But you need to do it without even having a kazoo, having a piece of paper. You could try it with just a piece of paper. It's a lot louder if you put the paper over the tube, right? That works pretty well, actually. I didn't know that that worked. I'm glad that you tried that by doing a different kind of problem solving. You can try making different sounds with your mouth. You can try just humming. Now we can try just using our hand. There's so many ways that we can amplify the sound that we're making. This is very interesting. Does anybody want to share their sound that they're making? Anybody want to unmute themselves? You want to share? Go ahead. Oh, that's cool. What happens if you blow through the other end? What happens if you put your mouth on the paper end? It sounds like a trumpet. That's a good idea, though. I'm going to try blowing through the other end to see how it sounds. Oh, no. I blew my paper right off. You must have used a rubber band on there a lot tighter than I did. I'm going to put my paper back on. See what happens if I blow through the tube. Oh, I'm not sure I can get that to stay on with the rubber band that I have. Well, that's an idea too. What happens if we make the end of our tube small like this? Does it make our kazoo sound different? You can try different ways of doing this. You can do engineering. It's a little bit louder if I leave the end open. So we can try closing the end. That's very neat. I love that you guys are coming up with different ways of using your kazoos and different ways of experimenting with your kazoo. Do you want to share yours? You got yours to stay on this way. Oh, it's loud if you go this way. So if you hold on to your paper and you put your mouth in there, we have a loud trumpet that way, don't we? Now, if your piece of paper is kind of small like mine was, you might not be able to do it that way. But if your piece of paper is big, you can hang on to it. I'm going to try poking another hole in there and see how it sounds with 2 holes. Now I have 2 holes. Wow, that's a really cool way to make it sound. And you might notice that if you have a different paper tube in your house, so I have another one, I'm going to just make it a little bit shorter to see if it sounds different. If I make it even shorter, maybe we can make another kind of sound with this. I'm going to have lots and lots of kazoos in my house. Here we go. So now I have a really short paper tube. Oh, it's even higher. But it sounds louder if you use the longer tube, doesn't it? I love all the experimenting we're doing. There are all these different ways of playing with these kazoos that I did not even realize that we could try. Awesome. So you can try it with your face on the paper or on the other end. See which way you like it better. I think I might like it better this way. You can see if you like using a different kind of paper, like I have some tissue paper here. Or if you like using wax paper. If you have aluminum foil at your house, you could try to make it with aluminum foil and see what that's like. Okay, maybe let's do this not quite in each other's faces though, right? We could all line up and be a band together. You can try and maybe make an even longer kazoo. You could try putting paper on both ends of your kazoo and see how it sounds if you do both ends of your kazoo. And we can have a whole science band, right? So you can think about different ways that you can make that paper move back and forth. Does anybody else want to share how their kazoo sounds? Corinne and Trey, it looks like you've got lots of different kazoos. No, there are musical instruments that change the length of the tube that they use to play. So one of the things, have you guys ever seen a trombone? Where people use a trombone and they play like this and they make the tube longer and shorter, and you can make different sounds based on how long the tube is. So we can make different sounds with different lengths of tube. I'm glad that you love the kazoo. I love playing with these kazoos with you guys. Jacob or Jerome, I'm sorry, I can't see you that well. Do you want to share yours? Do you want to share the kazoo that you made?
Mine doesn't really, I don't think it works, so I don't really know.
You know what? So maybe if you have a different, maybe if you have a smaller hole in your paper, if you just kind of try blowing it out. There you go. Sometimes you just have to try playing a little bit differently. So if you suck in, it doesn't, if you inhale, it doesn't work as well, but if you blow out or you hum, that works pretty well. Yeah, you could, that's right. You could try using different paper, and you could see if you could punch different holes in it and see. You could try having, instead of just having a hole, maybe you could have like a narrow slit like this. And you could see what that's like. And you could try different sizes of holes and see if that makes a different sound. Because there are lots of different musical instruments that depend on having different shapes. You can also experiment with making different sounds. So maybe you can sing a little song. Or you could try saying different words. Hello, science friend. Hello, do you like to play with kazoo? And you could try all kinds of different things with your kazoos. All right. So you can have lots of different fun with all of your different kazoo things. Excellent. So go ahead and keep experimenting. Keep trying new ways of making kazoos. Maybe if you have some newspaper left over from yesterday, maybe you can make a really long kazoo. Or maybe if you have 2 paper towel tubes, you can try making a really long kazoo, and you can see how that sounds. See if that sounds different. You have a really long kazoo. All right. Yeah, you can use, that's right. You could use plastic paper. You could use notebook paper to make your kazoos. You can use lots of different kinds of things to make your kazoos. So I am very excited to learn more about all the different kazoo orchestras that we can make with science. And if you want to make a picture of your kazoo and have a grown-up put it on our Facebook page, or you can email it to us. So you can email it to us, and I'm just going to put the email in here. You can email it to us at info@sciencecenter.org. You can email us a picture of your kazoo. Or you could send us a song that you can make with your kazoo. If you have a song that you want us to post on our Facebook page, we can post a picture or a song that you make with your kazoo. So you can try all your different kazoos. And let us know how it goes. All right, so I'm gonna let you guys, let me check and see what we're doing on Monday, because I actually don't remember what we're doing Monday. On Monday, I know Peter's gonna do something with us, I think. So on Monday, let me just check. Oh, this is going to be fun. So on Monday, what we're going to do is we are going to build a little vehicle, a little car or a boat or whatever that you can power just by breathing. So we're going to make, we call these puff mobiles. So you're going to go and make a little car. So for that, you're going to need some straws and maybe some pennies or some paper clips, and you are going to be able to make a car. So we're going to come up with different ways of doing that on Monday. So we will see you Monday at 10:30, and have fun doing science in the meantime. Take care. Bye, everybody.